being a Northern Michigan alumni for 4 years, can you give any college or NCAA advice for kids prepping for playing wise or off ice stuff? At these younger ages of junior hockey or minor hockey, academy hockey.
I just think with anything, and it doesn't have to be necessarily college, but what you do today will prepare you for tomorrow. And um, I made the mistake. Like I said, I had all this fun in Prince George. Maybe I had too much fun because I started to take a couple college courses to try to, again, prepare myself for making that next step. Or if things didn't work out and I didn't get a scholarship, I would get a couple credits. Well, I started to play hockey well. And at that age, being 18, 19 and things, I found myself slipping at school. Well, I took an English and a math class at the first year college level, and then I got a scholarship, and I didn't think anything of it, so I just stopped going to those classes, and I, without properly dropping them or anything, and I failed both of them, and that went on my transcripts. And when it became my freshman year, when I went to Northern Michigan, all of a sudden we got a huge problem. I can't get into school because of those two classes that I didn't properly drop and stop going to because I had a scholarship and I thought I'd be starting school somewhere else. Well, that turned into a year of academic probation and a bunch of tests that I had to do. And had I properly prepared, or even if I didn't want to go, just drop those courses, it would have been a whole lot easier. And I think now there's talk about what they're doing with the SAT test and everything like that. It sounds like they may drop it. I don't know enough about what's going on. I know there was just a lawsuit in California about the SAT test, but I hired a tutor. I got all my SAT books and everything and studied like that, because you want to keep yourself eligible for, not just state schools, but also Ivy League. You want as many options as you can. And I took a recruiting trip to Princeton. I scored high enough on the SAT to get in there, but ultimately I chose somewhere that reminded me of home. And I wanted to be a hockey player at that age. And so I chose Northern Michigan. I had no regrets at all. I loved my time there. I'm a huge advocate of the NCAA. I was down in watched Northern Michigan play, not this past winter, the winter before, in Minnesota, and just got a chance to go through some of the college rinks and everything. And they are, the facilities you have are nicer than NHL rinks. And
Yeah, there's so much more.
so it's, I just love the NCAA. You get to live that college lifestyle, and Brandon, you were there. Like it's how it is in the movies, and it's fun. And you think, looking back, I remember staying up all night to finish a paper. But now when you're 41 years old, you look back and you don't remember anything but the great times with your teammates and everything like that. So that said, I never played a game in the Western League, so I don't know how great that can be and fun that can be, and the bus trips and everything like that. But and I know a lot has changed from when, regarding education and the steps that the Canadian Hockey League is implementing there. But I wouldn't change the route that I chose. And that's all. If somebody asks me what's better, well, I can't compare because I didn't play both. But the way that I went is I wouldn't have changed it any other way.
Yeah. When you were younger, so you were a bigger body, back in those days, remembering that, the WHL, the major junior, and also the scouts, they liked the bigger body guys, especially. Did you have interest or not? Like, were people interested in you? Is what I'm saying. Not for you just being interested to play, but
Well, I was with Seattle for 2 or 3 years, and I went to their camps and everything, and they got it got to the point where I was, and back then I get it, it's a business, but there was so much pressure to go there and to wreck my NCAA. I didn't know what I wanted to do, but um, the personnel in Seattle actually made that decision for me. There was just so much pressure on a 16-year-old kid to make a decision that affects the rest of his life. And we were having breakfast, and unannounced, the general manager and head of player personnel show up at my house with a contract, interrupted our family breakfast and everything, just saying, okay, enough is enough. You need to sign here. And it rubbed me the wrong way. And it's not how things are done anymore. And this is a long time ago. But that ultimately, I'm like, okay, I don't want to play there if this is how it's going to be like. And yeah, and that made my decision for me. But certainly it was an option.
yeah. I'm
And
sure business was much different back then. I'm sure. Pretty crazy that type of story that on family breakfast. So also what I'm finding these days of learning what these players are doing, but a lot of players are signing early. It seems like it was like that before, but I find like everyone's signing early this now, where it sounds like you said you spent 2 or 3 training camps with them, but hadn't signed yet. So you're able to play the smart role of keeping your option open. They must have wanted you pretty badly then to allow you to take your time. Um,
you know, uh, I hope they would. I hope I was doing things on the ice that where they did want me. But yeah, I don't. As long as you have a good education plan worked into that signing, and I think most of them do now.
yeah.
As far as an education, the education you get at a Canadian university is compared to a state school, like it is a lot more beneficial. I was lucky at Northern, we're an accredited business school. I could actually transfer all my credits to UVic.
Okay.
But, like the joke was at Northern Michigan, NMU, the N stands for knowledge. Like it was not a tough school, whereas a Canadian university, you have to work it, and the
Yeah,
big,
yeah, I've heard that too. So you're right. State schools too they're different. Don't get me wrong, they're I'm sure a great time too. I have lots of friends that went to those state schools. I visited Minnesota State, Mankato, and St. Cloud State, so kind of got a feel there. Luckily, ended up at so they say the better education in Quinnipiac, which is in the Ivy Leagues. It worked out on that end, but yeah, I think these players and parents just hopefully they're talking to using the good resources and talking to um, some people that they kind of know what they're talking about. I mean, both ways, major, junior, or um, college can be positive and good choices or experiences and opportunities, but depending sometimes on what the situation of the player is like, even on development and even on maturity.
yeah. And it's tough. Like we live in a very now society. I want this now. I want this now. I want to go play now.